live, everybody, but we're also on tape. We are deep down in the bowels of Lee's music. Chris Foulds, no Magic Mike today. Greg the engineer and Bill. Greg, is your mic up?
Yep, I'm right here.
What's the story on Magic Mike? Where is he?
He just took some days off after a busy Rib Fest, and yeah.
Foulds, that sounds suspicious. Where do you think Magic Mike actually is?
Mike, I have no idea. He's probably at some furry convention.
He's probably at Dr. Love doing his shopping for the week.
He's probably got a lot of stuffed animals in his back of his truck right now.
Okay, it's episode 54. Anything special about 54?
Well, it's the most special. 1954 was the year the BC Lions were born. God's team, the greatest team of all time. The 2022 and 2011 and 2006 and 2000 and 1994 and 1983 and 1964 Grey Cup champions.
And probably 2022.
That's what I started off with.
Yes,
absolutely.
You did. Okay.
Yes. So 54 is a great year. It was the birth of rock and roll in that era right there. Buddy Holly and Bill Haley and of course Elvis Presley. But the BC Lions, 1954, they had the British Empire Games, now called the Commonwealth Games. That very year at Empire Stadium when Landry and what's the other guy's name? Anyway, they got the statue, first sub 4 minute mile. So, great year.
Roger?
Yeah, Roger Bannister and Landry. Bannister and Landry. So, yeah, that's 54. So it's the 54th episode. So there's a shout out to the greatest team of all time.
A slice of history from Chris Foulds to start the show. This show, I always say I like the show. I really like today's show. The personalities we have coming on this show today, there's one of them right here. That's Maurice Onyemaenu, the Nigerian Nightmare. He's from Nigeria, had never played football in his life basically till last year, came to Canada, all of a sudden he's with the Broncos and he's ripping it up. He's going to be right here in about 20 minutes from now. Also, the future is now on Kamloops Last week. Gavin Dodd, he's the national trampoline champion. He's 18, double mini trampoline.
Incredible.
He's 18. He set a Canadian record. Also, Raiya Matonovich. I don't know if you watched that video.
Oh man, you're going to show it, right? It's how she won the race was just incredible. And you're right, it was incredible.
Above the folds today too. You want to talk about fire?
Update on the wildfire situation and how we go in just to let people. Just to realize, hey, it's been a pretty good summer.
Also, you don't know about this, but there was some criticism of you last week on our Instagram account. Somebody calling you Comrade Foulds for your take. It was Chilly One, a guy named Chilly One. He saw your takes about price gouging, and you had mentioned but that's just not right. And he's talking about the free market. He called you Comrade Foulds. He said, great episode of communism this week with Comrade Foulds. So any rebuttal there?
Well, I'm in a bunch of sports pools. I love to gamble, as you know. So I'm in a bunch of the biggest one is the football pool, the NFL pool. And I always argue that we should spread the money out more evenly because, and then I'm actually called, my name is Communist Foulds. And they hate it. And my younger brother's in the pool and he's the opposite. So they call him Capitalist Foulds because he argues for the sex.
Is that Shane?
Yeah, they want winner take all. And they want the most money going to the top because, I prefer to like.
Well, how many guys do you want to get paid out?
Depending on how many teams there are, but I like to go down on third or fourth in the regular season.
I think 3 should be paid out.
Yeah, and then I also want to weight it more to the regular season because I argue to win the regular season is more impressive than winning the playoffs, and they always just rain down on me. I never win that argument.
My one thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyway, he's probably. I've heard that before, but there's nothing wrong with. Calling out gougers.
He called it communism this week. It's communism last week. Just get that one right there, Chilly One. It's a slow time of year right now, but civic election, I just wanted to ask you about, it's coming up not too far away. Some of the issues. What kind of issues can we look forward to dealing with?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right today is August 11th as we tape this show, and then in less than a month, everyone has to, the deadline to file your nomination papers is September 9th. So the issues, there's the number one issue by far and away, the largest issue of talking to the candidates that I speak with, that Jessica Wallace speaks with, that you see on social media, that you see in letters to the editor, that we receive in calls to the editor's desk, which I get all the time. Number one issue is social issues.
Yep.
It's the homelessness problem in town. And the
crime
and other issues that some people link, but they're not necessarily linked. But it's homelessness, it's mental health and addictions, which is a lot of people on the streets. They need help, and then it's also property crime. property crime, which may or may not be linked to homelessness, obviously, but there are people on the streets and you get homeless and you get desperate and you break in, you need food. We get it. But there's also just bad people on the street who are taking advantage of the homeless and others. And it's just getting really bad. Look at Vancouver, like there's a huge issue going down in the downtown east side this week. They had this huge tent city come up and they're taking it down now. And just on the way into work today, I'm listening to CBC radio and there's pro and con, and some people are saying this is human rights violations, that before you take anything down, everyone should have a place to go. And then there's others who are saying that it's not safe for them there, so you have to take it down. But who knows? This, like I said before, this issue of homelessness will never, ever be solved, but it could be incrementally improved. And it's all about housing. It's all about housing.
We're going to co-host a forum, right? A debate?
Yes, we're going to Kamloops this week, CBC Radio Kamloops and Radio NL. We just booked the hall, so it'll be October 5th, Wednesday, October 5th. Lee's Music's going to be doing all the audiovisual at Thompson Rivers University Grand Hall. They'll be setting up for us up there. So that'll be a big night where you have all the candidates for council and the candidates for mayor in a really good format where everyone has a chance for 15 to 20 minutes to say their piece and answer questions from the audience.
It's a great time to be on board with our show too, because we're going to have, hopefully, if they want to come on, all the mayoral candidates right here.
Yeah, we're hoping right now there's 5 people who say they're going to run. My bet is we'll probably have, I think I think we'll have 4 or 5 people run. One may not run. One
You're
might.
predicting a dropout.
I'm predicting someone who said they're going to run for mayor will probably run for council. I could be wrong. I often am, but I think
No question.
that's going to happen. But if we have 5, there's 5 declared right now. I think there's 5 declared right now, and we're hoping to have them on the show beginning the last week of August or the first week of September and running it weekly to about 2 weeks before the election.
It's a great time for our sponsors to be on board too, because we expect our viewership to go up, our listenership to go up as we get into election season and Memorial Cup season. So thanks again to Gord's Appliance and Mattress Center. Here's what my day looks like. Sometimes I drink so much McDonald's coffee that Greg, can you hit me with the...
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, the backup vocalist, Greg. I drink so much coffee that I burn out, and I have to go to sleep, so I sleep on a Gord's mattress. It's a Sealy product, too, always a Sealy product. And then I wake up famished, so what do? New Leaf Produce Market to get berries. So that's all our sponsors. We thank you so much. Oh, one more thing, too. Gord Stevens, he reached out to me. He's quiet today, but earlier on he said, make sure you mention the benevolent one that he is. They're starting a program.
It's a good program.
Very cool program. Gord's Giving Back, it's called. Every month, they're going to give away an appliance or appliances to somebody in need. Every month, they're going to announce how to do that on their social media and their website coming up soon. Right now, though, let's welcome in the Nigerian Nightmare. But first, a word from Gord Stevens.
I need to speak to Gord on the Niner.
Hey, no, I'm actually Steve, the new owner.
How's the fridge working? The fridge is fine, Gord.
It's Steve.
I got news for you, Steve. It's actually Gord Stevens. And I'm running the show now. Hit the music. I'm Gord Stevens. I own the shop. The fridge freezer dealer with the Monaco tops up. Yeah. And peep the brands we got. Cause I'm that mid-tag man with that whirlpool of stock. Hot, yeah. All the deals we got. We get you in a mattress, make that party start. It's art. In the bedroom and the repair shop. Cause you can buy it new or we'll fix what you got. Come on down to Gord's at 948 Trunk Road.
Let's start with the nickname, the Nigerian Nightmare. How do you feel about it?
That's one hell of a shoe to fill up. It's a heavy shoe to fill, but I think we're living up to it.
I think you, so we had you in the paper on Wednesday and you were on the radio last week. What have your teammates said about the nickname?
Honestly, I haven't had anybody say much about it. They've made fun about it in training, right? I had a guy yesterday behind me call himself the Kenyan Nightmare. So we're having fun with it. We're having fun with it.
You're not the only Nigerian on the team though, right?
No. I have the interesting fact is there's twins on the team. And they're from the same state and the same area as I am from Nigeria.
But you didn't know them?
No, I didn't know them. No, one of them is actually my namesake, and so we all just speak Nigerian. And in the line and just get the other team confused. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So where are you from in Nigeria?
I'm from Anambra State, Abagana, Njikoka local government. Yes, I'm Igbo.
How much football do they play over there?
They play football. They play soccer.
Yeah,
right?
soccer. Yes. What you guys know as football here,
Yes.
soccer. There,
Isn't
yes.
that Golden Eagles? Isn't that the national team?
The Super Eagles.
Super
Yeah,
Eagles,
Super
that's right.
Eagles.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
good
yes,
team.
yes.
Yeah.
So just give us the story of how you ended up playing for the Kamloops Broncos.
As you already know, I came to Kamloops and I came here for school first of all. But when I came here, we stumbled upon financial troubles as for family, and then so the only way to get out of that was to seek scholarships to soccer, which I did play a lot of. I played semi-professionally even before I came here, and then so the first option was to go straight to TRU. So I hit the coach up and I said, hey, I'm gonna come try out, and it was over the winter. So I came here and a lot of depression hit me too because I was homesick. So I put on a lot of weight, and then so John said to me, he said, you're good at soccer, but I need you to lose 20 to 25 pounds before I can consider you on my team. And at the time it broke me because there was no way for me to go back to school without that scholarship at the time. And then so I went into the gym and I lost some weight. And after some time, I started looking really, different. And I remember John seeing me one time and he's like, Maurice, you look so different. I want you back on the team. But I think I was over soccer at the time. And so I'd always had weight problems. So for the first time in my life, I was able to conquer, and understand my body. So I wanted to go on with it and not really go back to soccer. And fast forward, sometime in 2019, I met Vanky. And, he recruited me, and at the time I was still smaller, so he wanted me to play receiver. But if you guys already know, offensive plays are very complicated. And then so it was too much jargon. So I jumped it. 2021, he hit me up again and said, hey man, you've gotten really bigger and I think you'd be wasting your time if you don't give it a shot in this sport. Yeah.
So Coach Vanky is Braden Van Conen. He's
Yes.
the head coach of the Kamloops Broncos. And you undersold, I think, how big you got in the gym. Because you told me before you got basically looking like you were
On roids.
roided up. Like you got jacked up, right?
Yeah. In a really short period of time. But I think it's just family genes, I guess, So yeah, I was able to get away with that quickly, yes.
You play defensive end.
Yes.
And middle linebacker sometimes.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of Cameron Wake?
No, I've never heard
Cameron
that
Wake
name.
was this great American football player, about your size, a little bigger, and he didn't get drafted to the NFL. So he come up to BC and he plays for the BC Lions, and he played defensive end, and he just tore this league apart. He was the first defensive player to get an MOP, I think. Anyway, he was really good. The NFL saw him. He went down there. He made his millions.
Yeah.
That could be your path to start.
Honestly, I'm starting to like that. Yeah. I'm starting to like that.
There you go.
We kind of glossed over the main point here. So you hadn't played a down of football in your life until basically last summer.
Yeah.
And so in a calendar year, you've come from failed woefully at soccer, was what you told me, to being seen, being this jacked up guy. Hey, come play football.
Yeah.
You eventually come play. And within 1 year time, you're now the BC FC Defensive Player of the Week for the Kamloops Broncos for a guy that's never played football before. So how crazy is that story?
It's good, but I kind of feel like I haven't done enough, no? Because my main goal is, it's not personal, I want to help the team. I feel like the city has been backlogged for some time, and so I want to get up there and win games. It doesn't, individual accolades doesn't matter if the team isn't winning, right? So, the goal is to continuously, I don't come into a game thinking I want to be player of the week. I come into a game thinking I want to win this game for the team, if it means me dying, right? So
That being said, you would like to go on to play professional football.
Yeah. I like to go to the NFL, yeah.
And you have bloodlines. I think your second cousin is a cornerback for the Detroit Lions?
Yes, Jeffrey Okuda, yes. We spent some time together in 2013, the year there, yes.
Okay, so let's switch gears to the Broncos. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, okay?
Yeah.
Every year there's somebody like you who tells me this is the year that we turn it around, and every year they don't. So why is this year different? Why are the Broncos going to turn it around this year?
I think the answer to that question is family. Like, I was on the team last year. I obviously wasn't a starter, and I've also been on a lot of teams in my life, but there's a sense of family that's springing up there. I'll tell you, and the game we had where we lost to VI, it was a narrow loss, I missed a tackle. And I had a teammate, he came up to me, Brody Rogers, his name still plays in my head. He came up to me and said, Maurice, you missed that tackle because you didn't let me take the offensive lineman for you. So he says, the next play, I'm going to go take the lineman for you, put my body on the way so you can make the tackle. And then the next play, lo and behold, he goes and he causes a pile up for me, and I make the tackle, and all I could hear was, there you go, there you go, there you go. Right? So there's a feeling of family, you know. It's like everybody plays together. It's just insane. It's insane.
Is that coming from Coach Vanke?
Yeah, Vanke, he's especially because he literally does the drills and cardio with us. I've never seen a coach like that.
He's in the
my
trenches
life.
with you. He's walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yes, yes.
He's not Wally.
Yeah, he's not Wally at the sidelines.
Yeah. The game against VI, we took a lot of penalties and we had to do cardio as punishment, and he did it with us.
Yeah.
Good.
It's just.
You told me last week, look out for us. We're going to take down the Kodiaks. You did.
Yeah.
Here you get a shot at redemption against the Raiders in Nanaimo. So any bold predictions for this weekend's game?
We're going to win. It's just, it's no ifs and buts about it. We're just going to win. That's it.
Okay.
And that game is going to be on TV.
Yep.
Again, people here can watch it on TV. Telus, channel 1999.
Also, Broncos fundraiser this weekend. Do you know about this?
Yeah, the one by...
Fresco.
Yes. I do.
Any Nigerian cuisine you're going to be firing up?
You might want to see a surprise when you come there.
What is Nigerian cuisine?
The most famous one is jollof rice, right? And the fried rice, and we have a lot
Jello
of...
fries?
Yeah, jollof rice, yes.
How do you spell it?
JOLLOF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and by the way, there's 2 African restaurants in town, Tobilicious and Afrofusion.
They might want to sponsor.
Yeah, they're good with that. So make sure you go, check them out. They're both my sisters, so yeah, give them a check.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you like berries?
Berries? I like berries,
New Leaf Produce Market. That's where you get your berries. They sponsor the next segment. Thanks for so much for being here, Maurice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much, guys.
New Leaf Produce Market. Straw. Berries. Harmon and Steve, they're best buddies. They're in cahoots with the strawberries. Neufeld makes them down in Abbey, and New Leaf takes them back to Gammy.
We all.
Mic check 1, mic check 1.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check 2, Raiya, mic check 2.
Mic check. Mic check.
The future is now on Kamloops Last Week. Gavin Dodd, we've had you on the show before. Welcome
Yes,
back.
thank you.
Raiya, you were on our show, but not in person, so welcome here for the first time in person. So you
Thank you.
just won national championships, under 16, 800 meters, Sherbrooke, Quebec.
Yes.
I have that right, last Sunday.
Yeah.
Gavin, last month, national double mini trampoline
Yes.
champion and Canadian record set.
Yes.
So welcome back. Raiya, let's start with you, because
Okay.
we're going to show some video right now as I'm talking about the end of that race. Foulds, what stands out to you about the end of that race?
Well, what stood out for me is you're listening to the announcer call it, and you were an afterthought. They thought, the question was coming down the stretch was how much of a win, how much of a lead is this person going to win by?
The Ontarian.
The Ontarian, and all of a sudden, they couldn't believe it, and you just overtook her at the very last bit, and she ran out of gas, and you just put it in there. And I was thinking, what's going through your mind as the finish line is in view? The announcers thought that she had an insurmountable lead. What's going through your mind as you're chasing her down?
Yeah, the beginning was a rough start because I kind of we usually do lane starts, but it was a waterfall start. So in the beginning, I was kind of caught off guard because I was supposed to stick with her. I had a strategy. But then I was like, so then throughout the whole race, because I knew she was a sprinter, so I knew that if I went too early, she would like pass me near the end. So I had a strategy that near the end, I was going to kick it because I knew that I always trained with like the Cherry Wolfpack soccer men's team and they paced me.
Okay.
So usually they're faster than me for sprints, so they're always a bit ahead of me.
Right.
So near the end, I kind of thought back to practice. I'm like, if I can pass her, it's like practice.
So you conserve your energy until you need it at the end there.
Having the strategy is one thing, but that's the end of the race, so you're usually kind of tired.
Yeah.
So where do you have to go kind of mentally to dig down deep to find that last burst?
I had to dig really deep, but because like this past year, I went through a lot of stuff through like injuries and stuff. So I think that everything that I've been through, like just like all the training that I went through, I think I was like playing it throughout my mind. And then like, you worked up to this nationals this year, so just put it all out, put it all in. I wanted to come home with the gold, so.
Yes. You got sick too, right?
Yeah. I got sick. I had a sinus infection throughout, like right before high school provincials. So It was, and then I was a bit anemic for a while, and then I had this ankle injury in basketball. I played with my sister on the senior basketball team, so that was fun now because she's moving away. But yeah, there was just a lot of ups and downs this year, so I was just glad that I could win the gold for BC.
Yeah, and Gavin won the gold on last month as well. Take us through your passes. I always am struck by you train so much and you've got like these 10 seconds and you can't screw it up. So take us through those passes and how things went for you.
So like through the warm up, I was kind of had a couple different plans in mind, but I felt really good. So I decided to go for like my biggest passes. So the first one was a triple front half into a triple back with a full twist. And the second one was a double front with 2.5 twists and then a double back with 3 twists.
What do you think would happen if he tried one of those?
I don't think he'd get there.
I'd have more injuries than...
The difficulty for the 2 passes together was 20.8, and that was that's the new Canadian difficulty record. Didn't even realize that's what it was. Like I just I planned those passes the day before, and then kind of felt out the warm up, and ended up doing them, and then they announced that I got the record, which was really cool. I didn't even know that I was going to have the record, so that's really awesome.
And this is senior division now. This isn't juniors anymore, right?
No.
So you're the national men's champion and Canadian record holder in difficulty.
Yes.
How does that sound?
Sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's motivating, so now I can go back to the gym and keep practicing, trying to get even more stuff, and then hopefully break my own record at some point again.
Maybe even at Worlds later this year. It's in Bulgaria, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about Worlds and why they're so important.
World is in November in Bulgaria, and there's going to be all the best in the world there, obviously, and it's going to be a really cool experience because this is my first time in the senior Worlds. Right. I've gone to the junior Worlds a couple times, but this is my first time senior division.
Raiya, what's next for you?
I'll be continuing my training. I haven't hit, because of this year, I haven't really trained a big chunk. I had time set in mind for 800. I wanted to go 205, 207, but so I'll be meeting my coach when I drop off my sister next week, and he's just been I've just met him 5 months ago, so he's such a amazing support, and I think from there we're going to discuss training plans and what we can do from there to make sure, because he's really supportive of my goals, so we're going to make sure that we can hopefully hit my time.
Are those records, BC records?
I believe the record's around 209 flat, so if I get 207, 205, that'll be really cool.
That'll be the new record, that's right.
Yeah.
I want to ask you both about sacrifices because most kids your age are probably not training as much as it is required, that you have to train, and they're out doing other things. I don't know, maybe they're on TikTok more. Maybe they're going to parties at your age because you're 18 now. So why do you decide to make the sacrifices that you do?
Because I love it. I love the sport and the people that are in the sport. I sacrifice the people outside of the sport, but I get to meet so many people inside the sport. So I would say it kind of all equals out, and I'm really happy that I decided to do it because I'm having a lot of fun.
Raiya, I imagine most of your spare time is spent training?
Every day, It's just mostly just training or resting or in recovery, But obviously hanging out with family too, but other than that, it's just, rather than going to parties, I'd rather be at I love hanging out with friends too. At the track is where I feel most at home.
Anything from you?
No, I think it's just fantastic to highlight this kind of, like you say, sacrifice. My best time is 205 as well, but that's hours going around the track.
Same.
I was just thinking that 205. My God, I got tired just thinking about that. That's crazy.
How do you think you do at the 800 meter, and how do you think you do on the trampoline? We'll start with you, Raiya.
Oh my God, I think when I saw your post yesterday, I kind of searched your name up, and I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing? He was spinning and spinning. That's crazy. I could never do that.
I couldn't run 800 meters, so it'd be a slow jog, maybe a little walking in there.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. Okay, you guys like McDonald's?
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
So do we. And Greg? They sponsor our next segment, which is Above the Folds. Thanks for being here, guys.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you today?
Oh, well, I'd first like to make an announcement. I love McDonald's, and I love shopping local right here at McDonald's. And I'd also like to get 2 medium coffees, both with 2 cream.
So 2 medium coffees with 2 cream. What was the first thing? Sorry about that.
No, that was it. I just wanted
That's everything?
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to say I love shopping local at McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Perfect. First window, please.
Okay, bye-bye.
You with us?
I'm with you. I'm just trying to see if Michael's working
your
today.
segment.
Yeah, I know, but he's got, I want to see if he's sick today. Hold on, here we go, Michael.
I took some video of Michael actually when we were at our breakfast.
Yeah.
The way he eats. Did you notice the way he was cutting up his ham?
Was it like a ham fist?
He's got like this claw, like the Italian claw. I'm going to play the video now actually. But yeah, maybe we'll analyze that later with him next time he's on the show. This is your segment though. We're going to talk about fires.
Yeah, one sec. Just have to. Michael's back on the desk. He said it was probably the flu. He didn't test positive for COVID-19, so that's good.
Hasn't he had it twice already?
I think he hasn't had it less than he's had it. He's probably patient zero. I don't know. He's okay. He had the stomach flu or something.
Yeah.
So now he's back today. So I gotta touch base with him. Anyway.
Okay. So last night, big long text you sent me about. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but eventually you landed on fires. You can just take it.
Well, yeah, it's this dog days of summer, and there's a lot of issues but we've already spoken about them, and we revisit them in the news because not a lot of new news happening with respect to big issues. I mean, we've touched this, but this is an issue. This is the Watching Lake fire, which is now basically almost out. This was the closest fire that came to Kamloops this year. It was about 15 kilometers northwest of Kamloops Lake. And one day we had a bit of smoke over Raiya and up toward Barrier, but I just wanted to point out that this year, even though it's been really, really hot, but Kamloops is always really, really hot, we've had a damn good year for wildfires compared to last year.
Did none, like the lightning last night, eh?
Yeah, lightning came through and it went east of us, and as far as I know, no big fires were started, but that could, a couple days from now, they could flare up.
Yeah.
But we've had some lightning storms, and that's what I'm saying. We've had a lot of lightning storms, but we've had blessedly very few big fires. There's that big one by Karamias and Penticton. There's the big one by Lillooet that they're letting burn into the Stein Valley because it's going to be naturally, it'll go out when it goes out because it's not affecting anyone. There's one by Lytton. But by and large, it's been a really good year. And so when we went through the really bad years of 2017, 2018, those were some of the worst on record. And then 2003 before that. People were thinking, okay, this is going to be every year thing. But then we had two good years. 19 and 20 were really good years. They were just good summers, a few fires, nothing major. Last year, again, was a bad year. So 3 out of 5 years was really bad. And people kept saying, this is the new normal. It may be the new normal, but this year, it's been, and I think it's going to, well, unless something changes right now, it's been a really good year. So there is a climate emergency out there. We're in a crisis. There's no doubt about it with the heat deaths, the atmospheric rivers, the freaky storms. I get all that. We got to do what we can to try to mitigate and prepare for it. I don't think we can ever. I think we're over the edge now. We can't change climate change. We have to adapt to it.
So, are you saying that we overreact a little bit?
No, I don't think overreacting. I just think it's worthwhile pointing out that while we are in a climate emergency, while there is a lot of bad stuff happening, obviously, it's not necessarily that a smoke and fire-filled year that we saw last year and in 17 and 18 is the new normal, because that's offset by really, really good summers of 19, 20, 22. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you go back to 2011, which was the last big fire year, and then 17, 18, and then 21,
we can't downplay it either, because next summer, if it fires up again,
and
you and I'll be in here.
But I think it's safe to say that it's not necessarily the new normal every summer like this, but I think it's accurate to say that we're going to have more summers like last year than we did before, and that is climate change. I believe that.
Tomorrow, I'm going to enjoy it, going to Tobiano. We're boating from MacArthur Island all the way up the river.
You and Keener and the boys?
Lake, and Donovan and Durzak. Mm-hmm. A couple of cold ones. Going to play Tobiano and go back on the boat and come back.
Well, that's anything but communism.
That's high-end elite living right there.
That's You're part of the what's his name? Cool Joe, on the anonymous guy who called me a communist.
Oh, chili something or other.
Yeah. Well, maybe he can join you on the boat and he can toast capitalism.
We'll just dump some gas into the.
That's what the hell. Yeah.
Start some fires. Okay, let's wrap the show here. Once again, we can't thank our sponsors enough, including this guy right here, the OG. Herman Hoti from New Leaf Produce Market. Their berries are in. They're flying off the shelves. Blueberries, strawberries from
Abbotsford.
Newfeld Farms in Abbotsford. Also Chilliwack grown blueberries. And then Sealy mattresses right now. They're flying off the shelves. Or I guess mattresses aren't on shelves. They're flying out of the store at Gord's.
Well, the little ones are for the cribs and stuff like that.
Yes, there you go. And Greg, one more time.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We drink exclusively McDonald's coffee on our show. Greg, great job. Bill, great job today. You guys held the fort in Mike's absence. He's at Dr. Love right now getting kitted out. So, Mike, we'll see you next week, and we'll see everybody else last week.
Last week.